Okay, here's a workbench that I have out my wood shop out there, and this is the vise that comes with it right here, the tail vise. And the way they have it situated is on the front of the workbench here on the right hand side. But I like to do a lot of my work on the other side when I'm doing any kind of work with sawing boards and things like that, and any kind of work. So I need to get my bench vise over to the other side, or else redo the whole thing here. And that's what I did out there in my shop. So I'll show you what I did out there now, how I changed this over, and how I'm going to add on to it now. It was I took the old board off. This is where the vise used to be at on this side here, and it would be situated on this side right here of the workbench. And then I tried to drill a couple more holes in here so I can move my vise over, but then I decided not to I abandoned that part and just took the whole board off and put a whole new board on. And so I put a big oak board on here, and then I moved my vise to the center here, and I put a big long jaw across here like this here, some support. Yeah. Be able to take my vise off like that, and that's what I made these two brackets for. I can slide that through like that, and then be able to have a way to use clamps as well like that. The reason why I can't use the actual clamps that are with it like this, because this sticks up too high and it will not reach. It will stick up too high here, and it will hit the bottom of the table, for the table itself is 3/4 inch down in this area here. So that's why I had to make those brackets, and that's why I make these brackets below, so I can move that to one side or the other. And if I get the other bracket here. So now I have the ability to use clamps like that, or else I can take them out and use my vise. My largest vise calls an 1 1/8 in diameter, so I need to take this down to 1 1/8 in diameter for a spigot, so I can put this on there as a fixture. Okay, that part's done. I'll turn it around now and then machine the other side now. Okay, both of the spigots are made now. That will hold the 5C collet on. And now the next thing to do will be to put this in my lathe this direction here and machine this down to about the diameter of this here, roughly, and come down so far and leave a lip right here that will be used for fastening to the back of a board for the vise. The next part of this project now will be to bore out this here hole here that the bar goes through, and I'll do that in the workpiece here in the lathe. It's coming up next. I have one more machine to do on the lathe for this, and that is this here clamp right here, the clamp bar itself. That has to drop inside like this, and that has to drop down so that it gets clear for the bar to go through. And what's going on here is that right now, this is this size here right now, so what I need to do is I need to machine inside here that will be the thickness of this right here overall, so that can drop down inside and fit down inside like that. Also, I only have to go as far as this distance from here to here only, which is a small little notch, 73/4 of an inch to in that area there. I don't have to do the whole thing, just that one little recess right there, and that allows it to drop down inside. So I'm going to go on my lathe now, and I'm going to get some dimensions here, and then start working in where I can get inside here and pull through to the wall side and start machining and getting some of this material out of here, leaving the front and the back all intact here. Just inside here I need to do some internal boring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the edge of the bit right here to my line, as close as I can get it. This isn't really that critical. It can just be close. So I need to set my gauge here now. Bring this in and set to my gauge this way, and then put a gauge back here now so I know how far to stop, and then move this the distance from here to here now. Another stop back here now. I get that stop there. I can move this stop out of the way now. And then I can go in as far as I need to go now. I can set from here to here. And I can put that gauge back here. I can gauge it, and I know where to put this at. And so that's about 3/4. About 3/4 out here. About right there. Set that gauge here. And this really isn't that critical because it doesn't go in as far as it needs to go. The main thing is back here though, this here stop right here, that's the main thing. And what I'll do is I'll touch off the side here. Until I'm touching. Right there. I'll set my dial to there. I need to go in about 190. That's about 195. So I'll set my gauge on here now for 195. So I'll set a gauge here. Set that. I'm also setting my dial here to 0 as well. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll just start taking this in a little bit at a time now and see if we can ream that edge out of there. Let's see how it works. At the same time, I'm going to move forward too to keep that from, I'll go back and forth, pull in a little bit, go back and forth, pull in a little bit, go back and forth, and so on. Right now I'm at 5 thou. I'm coming up on 10 thou. Right now it's 10 thou. I think it's going to work. Now we'll just keep on going. Last pass. 195. Yeah, let's give it a try. Here. It's a little hot. Okay, there's the internal groove. You can see that or not. There's the internal groove right inside there. And it's about 3/4 of an inch in width going back. Okay, what we have here is a little shoulder right here. The shoulder from here to here. And that shoulder should be pretty close to the width of this right here, from here to here. Let's see that or not. And there you can see that shoulder from here to here. Here, from here to here. And so when this fits down in there now, this should fit right down into that shoulder there and fit in there about like that. The reason why I had to take so much off the diameter here is because I need some room here on the flange to be able to put screws in through to fasten that to the board. But that worked good for getting a nice shoulder in there. It worked real nice for that. Getting an internal groove like that. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, the next thing to do now would be to start making the grooves in here. This big groove across here, and this here slot right inside here. And the way to do that will be to put this on my indexing jig. I'll use a 5C collet and grab it here and do all the machine on the side here. That's coming up next to my mill. What's about this is if when you want to set the spindle on center of the spin jig here, they give you a little arrow right here. They give you a little embossment there, and you can line your center finder up with that arrow right there, and that pretty much gets you right on center for your workpiece. That's a nice feature they give you for that. Okay, that's about 3/16, about 180, 190 thou. Okay, that'll be the edge of it right there. Okay, that'll be the edge of it right there. So now, okay, so I got that lined up there. That's there like that. key here now will drop down the side like that. That's going to work okay now. And that's this part right here. That was that part right here we cut in. Okay, so we'll turn that around 180 degrees now and start cutting out this slot here, which goes down halfway down through the depth of it. Okay, what I gotta do now is I gotta machine this back now farther so we can get this here to lean back to make the clamping. But that's going to fit in there nicely now. Okay, let's try and see how this works now. You drop down side like that. And of course this is going to go this direction here now, because this is going to be the flange that's going to go on the back side of the workbench board like this, and then the jaw side here, the movable jaw, will be on this side here. So I slot it on here, and there we go. Okay, so it looks like it's going to work okay. Unhook it, we just pull this way, and drop, and let it catch. Okay, that's going to work real good. So here's what it looks like right here. And that slot in here on that back side. And the front side, all I need to do is just put this slot in this way here. That's all I need. And that pretty much mimics this as much as possible in that direction there. Okay, so got these done. So now the next thing would be to start working on drilling the flange here for screws, mounting screws, and then we'll start working on putting this on the workbench itself. And what's going to be, it's going to be two vices, two individual vices it's going to be. Okay, so let's work on the next part of this now. I may use these here pieces that came out of the vices themselves, the clamps themselves, or else I might just make some pieces out of solid stock. Maybe do something like that. Maybe I might do something like that, possibly. Oh, we'll see. I think that's all I'm going to do for this evening. Alright, Alrighty, it's time to make these here parts here now. That'll be these here locking mechanisms here. That's like 1/4 inch steel. Okay, I've got the second one to do now. Time to start working on this here locking bar here. some filing. I had to file the top side of this way here, and then the opposite side on the bottom this way here, in order for that to fit on the bar and then go forward like that. Now we'll see how it works. This goes in here like this, and then this will get on here like this, and then it clamps on. That's gonna work fine. Okay, quick test here and see how it works. How it's gonna clamp up, moves up like this. Okay, that's gonna clamp good. Then all I gotta do is push that forward like that. Okay, that fixture's going to work real good for that. As part of the machining part of this here now would be to drill this here for mounting bolts, and then that will be taken care of on the bracket here, and then we'll start mounting this onto a board. Okay, I took my time and I did the second one here, and this one came out really nice here because I learned from my mistakes from the first one, and that came out real nice. And what I did is I beveled the top on this side, and then I beveled the bottom on this side here, so that it has room to go forward on the bar. So that drops in there like that, and then this slides on like this. And with that bevels being here and there, it allows that to clamp further on the bar like that now. And so I can now clamp a board here. So you see how that clamps really good like that. And then pop that forward. And so that works really good. So I have both of these made now. And now, like I said, now I can start putting the holes in for the screws, for the mounting screws. That'll get mounted onto the back of the vise board whenever I do that part. Okay, that's all the machine I'm doing for right now. Some mistakes I made here. This is the first one I did. This is the one I did on camera. This is the first one I did. And I made that hole a little bit too wide. And so I had to put a piece like this on the back side again. And then this is the first piece of making one like that. And that came out kind of not too good. But anyway, that it works still. It does work. But it just looks sloppy. But that was my first set that I made, experimenting to see what works. That's the ones I did on camera. And off camera, then I took my time and I made this way here. I learned from my mistakes, and I did a better job on accurately laying out the marks and things. And the same thing with this too. I took my time with it and did a better job on it. So there's the difference in fixing mistake here, but they'll still both work. It's just that the second one always comes out better because I learned from the mistakes of the first one. Okay, that's all I'm doing for right now. Now it's time to start knocking off these here nubs right here. What I do now is I want to face this off concentric with the internal bore. So I have this set of my 4-jaw chuck, and I have it pretty much zeroed in here now. So now I'm ready to do some facing off here now. It's faced off square concentric with the internal bore as best I could here. I decided that I'm going to not drill any holes in here for mounting screws. I'm not going to mount these on the board. Instead, I'm going to use these portable, and I'll show you what I mean when I go out into the shed and I work on the workbench part of this. I'll show you what I mean by this being portable. Right now, though, I do need to take off the one side here, the top side here, because that's going to go tight against the bottom of the tabletop on the workbench, and so that's what I'm going to do next here. The way to do this would be to rough it out with my bandsaw. So I'm just using my square here to just get it lined up best I can. Okay, that's that part there. Now, since these are going to be portable and they're not going to be fastened to the back of the bench anymore, I'm going to have to put something on here to keep this from sliding out whenever I store these in my drawer. So what I'll do is I'll just drill and tap and put a small screw on here to keep that from moving out. Okay, from coming out, so I can store it. I won't lose the brackets now. I store it in the drawer.